Welcome back to Summon Tesla. Guess what? If you're buying a new car after September 16th, you no longer have the option to get free supercharging. Well, is that gonna make or break your decisions? I want to know. I really want to know in the comments below. If you guys can leave me your comment and tell me, is this something that you think is going to affect people's decisions on buying a Tesla vehicle? Now, I'll be honest with you guys. When I first got this car, I really, really loved the idea. Okay, wait, I can get free supercharging, which means basically if I charge only at superchargers for as long as I own this car, I don't have to pay anything for my mobility. In other words, there's no gas, there's no electricity bill, nothing, because that's included with my car, with the purchase of the car. So, and a lot of people have this. The free supercharging is a massive thing up until now. So as of September 16th, if you're buying a car, you no longer have that option. And the big misconception right now is, for those of us who already have it, is this gonna actually disappear? So are we gonna lose it too? The answer is no. If you have it, you bought the car, you bought it with that option, obviously that was included, you actually get to keep it for as long as you own your car. And I think this is the key thing here. Most people don't realize this, but this is as long as you own your car. To my understanding, this is not something that can be grandfathered in with the car if you decide to sell your car. And if you're gonna go out and buy a new car, you are gonna be stuck pretty much the same as everyone else who buys a car after September 16th of this year. So a lot of people asking me, well, is this something that is gonna affect me? And is this something that's gonna, should I take this into consideration, I guess is what they're trying to ask, when I'm buying my Tesla, if I decide to buy it after September 16th. And in my opinion, not as much. I think majority of the people will find that, I think all of the people will find, with the Tesla supercharger, even if you're paying for it, it is by far, much cheaper than buying gas or diesel or any type of fuel. So, yes, now you have to pay for it, but it doesn't mean that you're paying the equivalency of, your fossil fuels. So your electric bill it depends obviously on your area. It depends on what province, state, or country for that matter, where you're at, because electric bills vary. So I don't want to go into the numbers. I know for me here, where I live in Vancouver, frankly, if I didn't have it, I really would not be affected all that much, to be honest. Where I do like the supercharger to have the free supercharging is when I go on vacations and so forth. However, for a lot of the early adopters, the big advantage I think of this was, you get to go out there and do your road trips and do all this thing, and essentially all you're really paying for is your car payment. Aside from that, you're not paying for anything else. So much is, the warranties are actually pretty darn good with Tesla. And the cars you don't have oil changes, you don't have a lot of these things. So it added up really quickly when you realize that all you're really paying for is your car payment, which is unlike any other car. I can guarantee you guys that. With all that said, obviously a lot of people are asking, so how is this going to affect your, an actual consumer, a future consumer, a person who wants to buy a Tesla, down the road within a month or two or after September 16th? It's really not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form, because if you use a referral code, so for example, if you go out and you decide to buy a Tesla and you're going to use my referral code, you still get about $150 worth of anywhere from $100 to $150. Now, on my information, it shows $150 credit towards the supercharger. I'm going to change lanes here, and I have to be careful. It is raining, by the way. So the $150 supercharger, it's equal that, from everything I've talked to a lot of the people, it comes more or less close to about a year's worth of supercharging. So that kind of gives you an idea with numbers. But let's go to the worst case scenario and say it's going to be about 6 months worth of free supercharging. You know what, even then it's 6 months, but that kind of gives you an idea what it's going to cost you down the road. If you're going to pay about $150 every 6 months for your topping up your car or fueling your car, well, really you're gonna pay that more often than not within the first 2 weeks of a gas powered car. So it really does make a huge difference having electric cars. Is it something that I think is gonna stop people from buying Teslas or EVs in general? I don't think so. I think it's a great perk for a lot of us who got in there a little bit earlier, but it's definitely not a deal breaker. And today, would I buy one? Yeah, you know what? Even if I didn't have the free supercharging, I would still be more than happy to buy a Tesla. Mainly because, well, the fuel, the electric cost, I guess, is so insignificant in the big picture. It is also worth noting that a lot of people who have their own houses will be able to give you a lot better information with regards to this, but a lot of people who own their houses and they have a wall charger at home, I have had a chance to talk to a huge number of people with this, and it's funny because one of the gentlemen said, I honestly didn't even notice an increase in my bill. But again, this is dependent on how much you drive. Now, if you're going to take something like my car, for example, which is a 100D, that's 100 kilowatts, right? So if you're going to drive 500-600 kilometers a day, sure, I am pretty sure that's going to add up for you. The average person drives about 100, maybe 120 kilometers a day. So realistically, you're only topping up even if you do it overnight, just plug it in, it is going to be harder for you to notice that you're using any power really on your bill. So I don't think it's as much to worry about. I don't think it's much to think about. I think it's the car in the big picture is still, regardless of this, and even if you just take out the supercharger, it is worth it every bit as if you had the free supercharging. I think it is a very difficult topic to try and express to people who are just coming out and saying, okay, I am really considering this, but they are hearing about this on news, or they're hearing about this be it on YouTube and there's social media, and you're hearing that, okay, well, Tesla is taking away the free supercharging. I think it kind of scares people, but it really shouldn't. I really believe that it kind of scares people for all the wrong reasons. When it's all said and done, you're really not getting affected pretty much at all. It's a perk that is going away, but I think that's the important part of all this. It's a perk. It's not it's not an essential part of your vehicle. It's not an essential part of your experience. It's not an essential part of what Tesla is. So I think this is a really important part to this. It's just the ability to say, okay, chill out, don't worry about it, it's not going to hurt you at all. But I hope this video was informative. I know a lot of people are asking me about this, and so I figured I'm going to try and give you guys an explanation. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. You're more than welcome to ask me any questions in the comments below, leave a comment basically, and ask me any questions you guys have. I'll answer it. If I didn't think of it right now, just ask and I'll make a point in answering it. I do respond to all your comments. So with all that said, I'm gonna have to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Please tell your friends about us if they like Tesla as well. You can also follow us on our Instagram account. It's Summon Tesla, just like the name it is here. And with all that said, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, goodbye. Have a wonderful day. See ya.